As true crime fans, we are no strangers to the masks that people wear. And we generally have a deeper understanding of the phrase behind closed doors than most. Perhaps one of the things that sets our alarm bells ringing as much as anything else is when somebody seems too perfect. In today's case, our leading man portrays himself as the perfect man, the ideal human, the doting stepdad. But when his wife turned up dead in what was reported as a domestic accident, the closer the authorities looked, the more layers peeled away like an onion. This is the very calculated murder of Brandi Celenza, and this is Murder of Crows. Brandi Ruth Celenza was born on March the 1st, 1993 in Longwood. Two parents, Joe and Candy Celenza, and she had one sister named Amber. Brandi remained a resident of Palm Coast for over 20 years. As a youth, she played softball and was active in Girl Scouts. She graduated from Matanzas High School, where she was also a member of the ROTC program. She loved nature and enjoyed any opportunity to spend time outdoors or at the beach. Outgoing and compassionate, Brandi had an infectious smile and the ability to light up a room with her presence. Above all, she loved being with her family and those closest to her. By 2016, she was a single mother to her son, Ryland, who was 4 years old at the time. And his birth came from a previous relationship that Brandi had had. Being a single mother was hard work, and she longed to find someone who would accept her son as part of the package. It was in that year that she met a man called Keith Johansson, and he seemed to be the real deal. A man with a heart big enough for Brandi and Ryland. Keith stepped up as a role model for Ryland, and he doted on Brandi. The couple married in 2017, and just a year later were even thinking about renewing their vows. It certainly appeared as if Brandi had found her happily ever after. So this brings us to April the 7th, 2018. Now things seemed perfectly normal. And when a couple of visitors called at the home to offer some religious reading material, Brandi greeted them cordially, and nothing seemed untoward or in any way off. But a very short time later, a harrowing 911 call came in, and the caller was Keith Johansson, and he was reporting that his wife appeared to have been accidentally shot while he was in the shower.
April 7th, 2018, 10 hours 37 minutes and 36 seconds.
Flagler County 911, where's your emergency?
Yes, may I have an officer?
Okay, what's going on there?
I was in the shower. I heard gunshots, and I think my wife shot herself.
What happened?
I was in the shower, and I heard some gunshots.
Okay.
I think that my wife accidentally shot herself.
Do you see her?
Yes.
All right, where did she shoot herself?
Looks like in my bedroom.
Where did she shoot herself bodily?
I don't know. I can't see it.
What do you actually see?
She's laying down right next to the bed.
Where is she bleeding from anywhere?
I don't see it. I don't see blood.
Okay. Do you see a gun on the floor or anything?
Yes, I ain't moving it.
What kind of gun?
It is a 9mm.
Okay. Do you see any head wound? Did she shoot herself or anything in the head? Need somebody to page it out for me. Do you see anything in the head?
No.
All right. Do you see any? Have you tried waking her up? Do you see any part of her body where she got shot that you can possibly apply pressure?
I can't see anything. Yeah, right in the ribs. It looks like.
Okay. You see a wound like in the rib wound, like the chest, upper chest, lower chest?
The upper chest.
Upper chest?
Correct.
Do you think she did this to harm herself, or do you think this was accidental? Any idea?
No, I think it's accidental.
You think it's accidental?
Correct.
Okay, is she breathe? She talking to you, breathing anything?
Yes, she's breathing.
All right. Is she able to say anything to you?
Baby. Hey. Baby, no. She's incoherent.
Okay.
I can hear her breathe, though. She's hurried.
All right, sir, stay in the line a second, okay?
I can't pay you out because I got more waiting this morning.
All right, stay in the line, sir. Let me get an ambulance going, okay?
Please hurry. Please stay for the line.
We will. Just stay in the line with me, okay?
Please hurry.
We are.
Baby, please stay with us.
Spring 8 will.
There's an ambulance on the way.
It will. Just stay in the line.
Violet, stay here. Please stay with us. Please.
What's your name, sir? Medical, injured person, engine 24, rescue 21, engine 24, reference,
Please.
gunshot wound.
Shut up.
It's right next to him.
Stay here. Ambulance is here.
Okay, no, he didn't. You didn't touch the gun, right, sir?
Huh?
You did not touch the gun?
No.
Okay. What is your name again? Are you applying pressure to that wound?
I'm thinking there's 2 guns on the floor, and I'm thinking that maybe she dropped them when she was trying to put them away.
So you think she may have dropped them?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you are you applying pressure to that wound?
No, I can't
Find
reach
yourself.
her like that. I'm wet. I'm sliding on my floor.
You can't apply pressure.
I can't see it. Listen, I got wood floors and I'm sliding. I don't want to risk hurting her or possibly one of the guns going off too.
Okay, but you can't reach down to her and apply pressure on the gunshot wound.
No, I can't see it. No, I can't.
Okay.
There's too much stuff right here.
What stuff like?
Moves in.
Okay, I understand that. But there's no way for you to apply. What I'm trying to do is to see if there's any way to apply pressure to keep that wound from bleeding out.
I don't see no blood on the floor. I just see blood on her shirt.
Okay, but there might be a gunshot wound there, sir. So I just wanted to see if you can apply pressure there, but you can't do that. Okay. Are you 2 alone in the house?
Huh?
Are you 2 alone in the house?
Me and my kid.
How old is your kid?
Well, it's her kid too. He is 6. Please hurry.
We're on our way. Me asking you questions, Steve, is not slowing anybody down. All right? They're getting there as fast as they can. All right? What is around your wife that you can't get close access to her?
Okay, I'm moving the bed. Fuck it. Okay. All right.
All right, is that front door open? Because I have a law enforcement that's pulling up on scene.
No, but do you want me to open it?
Yeah, go get the law enforcement officer, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Michael Charlie, 210, 315, unit check below.
When first responders arrived, despite their best efforts, Brandi Celenza died from her wounds. Ryland Celenza was in the home during this incident, but he was unharmed. But when police are talking to Keith and looking at the home, they have some uncertainty around what had played out.
We just got married, man.
I got you. When did you guys get married?
Last year, but we were gonna renew our wedding in 2 months. Please tell me that you guys can save her.
Escorted by police officers out of the house and to one of their vehicles, where a police officer will wait with him until the family members can arrive.
How long were you in the shower, what you said?
Maybe 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
I thought it was a
How many
balloon.
shots did you hear?
2.
You heard 2?
And I thought it was a balloon at first. And I ran out there and seen her laying there going, so I called you guys immediately.
Scratches on him? Yeah.
So wet.
No.
So he was in the shower.
Yeah.
Apparently, Brandi was trying to move the guns when they fired. Twice. One imagines that in the US, with so many firearms around, moving guns is a job hazard for housekeepers and home cleaners across the entire country. But the question marks around Keith's story, along with the tendency for law enforcement to take a jolly good long look at the significant other, meant that the police were always going to do more digging to find out what was going on in this scenario. And it didn't take long to find out that Keith had an ongoing meth habit that he seemed to have pulled Brandi into. This alone takes the sheen of Keith Johansen's public image as a clean-cut good guy. An autopsy confirmed that one shot was inflicted by a rubber bullet that caused a wound to the center of Brandi's chest, while a live bullet went into her right breast, and it was a shot so powerful that it had struck her, exited her body, went through the nightstand and into the drywall beside it. Keith was asked why he had rubber bullets in his gun, and he said that he had a habit of loading his weapon with 2 non-lethal rounds of rubber bullets, followed by a lethal round, so that he could use his weapon on an intruder without necessarily killing them. The police report also revealed the distance at which the shots had been fired. One shot was made from a gun held at close range, but the other shot was made from a distance of 3 feet or more. Therefore, Brandi could not have shot herself, and thus the medical examiner ruled the case as a homicide. But what really piqued the interest of investigators as they analysed the scene was the presence of several surveillance cameras. But these cameras appeared to have been tampered with or moved, and there did not appear to be any storage device for footage apparent within the home. Now, obviously, camera footage would be a key source of evidence in the case, so the investigators wasted no time in reaching out to the security company for access to any footage that was held in cloud storage. Now, understandably, the company took customer data very seriously, and the company were also assholes full stop who liked dragging their feet. Either way, the investigators needed to provide a warrant, and then there was a waiting game for the footage to be released. But it would prove well worth the wait, since not only the day in question, but also the days leading up to the incident provided a gold mine of evidence regarding the state of Keith and Brandi's relationship. And it showed Keith showing his true colours as a controlling, nasty bastard. Apparently, there had been internet affairs on both sides, so effectively both parties had emotional affairs, and while Keith was conveniently pushed aside, Keith completely took Brandi apart for her alleged indiscretion.
Oh, man. Like bad. It's only a matter of time. It's gonna be so much that you're gonna threaten to kill yourself. And you're gonna spend the rest of your days in an institution. I can throw you there tomorrow. You did? No problem. Push a person to either beat or kill you because you're... Suggest you use it. Gave you too many chances, man. Too many. Show a cop these videos. I don't give a... I'd rather be in prison than to call in my homies and you both die. You should be out my movie.
Why?
Because you're... I gave up everything on a chance. But somebody lied. Cheats, does this and that. You know what? I'm gonna leave it here to haunt you. Maybe one day you will.
In fairness, after seeing that footage, who could really blame her for trying to find understanding and affection elsewhere? But that's by the by. If this footage wasn't enough to seal Keith's position as the prime suspect, then the clip showing what he was actually doing during the 911 call certainly did.
Third gunshot? I think my wife shot herself.
Okay, are you applying pressure to that wound?
No, I can't
Find yourself.
her like that. I'm wet. I'm sliding on my floor.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you. You taking a shower? Okay.
Rather than being with and trying to provide aid to his critically injured wife, he was running around the home trying to recover and rehide his drugs, since he knew the police would need to come inside their home. What a cockwomble. It rather smacks of someone with no feelings for anyone but himself. Now, the delays dealing with the security company meant that several weeks passed since Brandi's fatal wounding. But on April the 27th, 2018, after the police had received and analysed the footage, Keith Johansson was arrested. The video evidence makes clear the threats and aggression that Brandi had been subjected to. But of course, Johansson tried to wriggle his way out of any culpability for Brandi's death, even suggesting at one point that 6-year-old Royland may have caused his mother's death. Classy move, Keith. Classy. It took 3 years for the case to reach court, during which time the charge of second-degree murder was upgraded to first-degree murder. Rather unsurprising, I feel.
I've got to get away from you, or I am going to kill you. You have to tell me when you're masturbating when I'm gone, or I will kill you. You're a fucking whore. I'll teach you to fuck around again. Call 911, bitch, and get me out of here, or you aren't waking up. Those were the words of this defendant 2 days before his wife, Brandi Celenza, was found shot and killed in their home in their master bedroom. Those threats to kill were captured on their home surveillance system on a camera in their bedroom on April 5th. All was quiet the morning of April 7th, 2018. Brandi lived at a home on 23 Felter Lane with her husband, the defendant, and their 6-year-old child, her 6-year-old child. She had plans to go to the fair later with her sister Amber, and she had reached out to her just 15 to 20 minutes before her death via text to confirm those plans. What Brandi probably didn't know that morning was how real those threats were and how quickly they would turn into actions that morning on the 7th.
Case that we talked about in jury selection just yesterday, where you are now charged, sworn under oath, to follow the law, the instructions you'll get in this case, to listen to the evidence fairly and impartially, and make a decision at the end of this case whether the state has proven the allegations in each and every element, including premeditation, against this defendant beyond and to the exclusion of every reasonable doubt. That is the burden of proof, and it is a high burden the state must meet in this case. You'll be instructed that if there's reasonable doubt, and the judge will give the instruction of reasonable doubt at the end of this case, you are required as a matter of law to find him not guilty. And that is what we're going to be asking you to do in this case. In every criminal case, the state has, no matter what the charge is, the state has the burden of proving 2 things. One, whether the crime was committed, and 2, whether the accused is the person that committed the crime. You're going to hear a different backstory on this case that's going to be very important in how you decide this case. Ms. Celenza was killed in self-defense, and you're going to hear instructions about what self-defense is and justifiable homicide. It's a very tragic case, and I'll explain what happened and what evidence you will hear, both through cross-examination of the state's witnesses and from testimony that we'll also provide on our side.
Unusually, at the trial, he took the stand in his own defense, and his lies were still pouring from his mouth, even after over 3 years, and the lack of emotion or grief was similarly telling.
Boo, which is the nickname that she uses for me. So I go out there, and she had a weapon in her hand. She said that I was not her husband and I was plastic, and I had walked forward to her, trying to disarm her, and, well, I had grabbed my gun, the one that was in the box. Okay.
Mechanic?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Then I started walking towards her, trying to, say, hey, man, and trying to bark orders and for her to drop it and to disarm her. And Then she would not do so I got closer, and I tried to grab it from her, and she lifted it up, and a round went out of my gun on her. Then she cocked and swung as I'm retreating, and another round I pulled off because she was pointing a loaded weapon at me.
So how many times did you fire the canic?
Twice, sir.
Twice, okay. And where were you at and where was she at when the first shot went off?
We were almost face to face.
Okay. And
because I was trying to reach down and get it.
So using the bed as a reference, where were you at in reference to where were the two of you at in reference to the bed?
Well, how it is, sir, is there's a space, there's a gap between our bed and the wall. And there's a dresser right over here. So we were, man, I wish I had a diagram and I would show you, but so here's the nightstand. She was right here and I was right here.
Okay. So in terms of like that microphone that's in front of you now, closer or further away from where the mic is?
Probably a little closer, if not, about right here, maybe. It was relatively close.
At the end of the trial, the jury of 8 men and 4 women took just under 3 hours to find this shit biscuit guilty of the first-degree murder of Brandi Celenza.
The verdict form to be in proper form.
In the Circuit Court 7th Judicial Circuit, in and for Flagler County, Florida, State of Florida versus Keith John Johansson, case number 2018-426 CFFA, Judge Christopher France. Verdict, count 1 of the indictment. We, the jury, find the defendant, Keith John Johansson, as follows to count 1 of the indictment. Guilty as charged as the crime of first-degree murder. So say we all, dated at Bunnell, Flagler County, Florida, this 28th day of October, 2021, 4-person.
Would sound like the jury poll?
Yes, sure.
Madam Clerk, please poll the jury.
Jury number 1, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes, ma'am.
Jury number 2, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes.
Guilty by a jury, your peers to do adjudicate. And what is to sentencing?
Yes, sir. I think I have the opportunity to file an appropriate motion.
Okay.
Judge, we would ask the sentence today that he can still file motions at 10 days from the date of the verdict. And we can certainly address that, but the state would ask for sentencing today. The entire family's here, and everybody is taking time out of their schedules and moved from out of town here, some folks.
Okay. We can do the as charged conviction, proceed to sentencing today. Understanding that there's a motion's coming. All right, y'all may be seated.
And Ms. Celenza, if there's just something that you want to say before the court imposes sentence on behalf of the family, you can do that now.
Brandi wasn't just my sister. She was my best friend. She was a mother. She was a daughter. She was young. She still had a whole life to go. And he just took her away and nobody was able to say anything. And being in jail is great for freaking him. He gets to live, as we still have to suffer inside with my sister gone and knowing and have to deal with growing up knowing his mom is not here with us. Thank you.
Your Honor, that's all as far as any comments from the family. Obviously, with a conviction of first-degree murder, the only lawful sentence in the state of Florida is a sentence of life, so we would ask you to impose that sentence of life without parole.
Mr. Wood.
Judge, unfortunately, that is the only sentence that can be imposed on a first-degree murder conviction.
Hearing no legal bar to sentencing, having been adjudicated guilty of the crime of first-degree premeditated murder, Mr. Johansson, I do sentence you to life in prison in the custody of the Florida Department of Corrections without the possibility of parole.
Johansson was sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. He did appeal his sentence, and in April of 2023, he did win his appeal. But only the teeniest, tiniest, most minuscule possible part of it. The 5th District Court of Appeal upheld the murder conviction of Johansson. The court affirmed the trial court's 2021 conviction, with a minor exception. The trial court erred in assessing investigative costs, $100 to the state attorney's office and $100 to the public defender's office, when the state had not requested those costs be assessed. So the case was remanded to the trial court. The case was tried by Circuit Court Judge Chris France for an amended judgment to be entered, this time without the investigative costs. This did not materially change the outcome of the case, so he was still fucked. This was a so-called Anders appeal, which means that while the defense attorney abides by a defendant's right to appeal a case, the defense is also aware that certain appeals can be frivolous. There was nothing substantial in this case that warranted an appeal in the defense's view, but one was filed anyway, with the caveat that the defense was aware that it was merely following the defendant's wishes. So in summary, it was a bullshit appeal for a bullshit human being. Johansson is serving his life sentence at the Lowell Correctional Facility in Florida, and long may he rot. Oh, bless you. And that was the horrifying murder of Brandi Celenza, where the perpetrator thought he could outsmart the authorities, and he may well have done were it not for two small issues. The first issue is that he was almost permanently whacked off his knackers on meth. And the second issue is that he was as thick as pig shit. Keith Johansson is absolutely where he belongs. This video is, of course, dedicated to Brandi Celenza, who was cruelly and ruthlessly murdered, and the son that she adored was left behind. I send nothing but love and condolences to the friends and extended family of Brandi Celenza, who was taken in by a narcissistic bastard and paid the ultimate price. Thank you for watching another episode of Murder of Crows. I'm Steve. This fat cat is Samson, and we will see you when we see you.
Say that you're ready, but you won't like it, you say